So, welcome to our hotel room, our very nice hotel room in Colonial Williamsburg. And today we are going to show you how to do what?
How to fit a corset cover from a original pattern from the 19th century.
This process begins, as so many things do, with sewing a test garment. You have to have somewhere to start since we aren't draping this from scratch. And Lisa very kindly made the test garment or muslin ahead of time, which is fantastic. Anyway, we had moved it from one place to another, and so the very first step was making sure that all of the seams and darts were well pressed. I will say this is the first time I've used this particular iron, and I really liked it. Lisa said it was fine to just use regular tap water with it. It does have a nice, very it has really good steam output, which is both a plus and a minus for a small iron. Like on one hand, that means that you feel like you're really getting the job done when you steam something or steam press something. On the other hand, it means you do have to keep a really close eye on that water level because it's very easy to run out of water, so just be aware of that. Another thing I really like about this particular model of iron is it has a little light on it. I don't know about you, but I always seem to end up in rooms where there just isn't very good lighting in the place where I want to iron, so it's nice to have some way to see slightly better when you are pressing. We didn't bring a lot of specialty pressing tools on this trip. We wanted to really keep it basic, so this is just a small, very standard pressing ham. But if you are a shapely lady, as we are, the pressing ham is not really optional. I suppose if you were someone who had a more, let's say, up and down figure, then you could probably roll a towel tightly and use that instead of a ham when pressing open seams. Since we knew getting this done was one of our goals for this trip, we did bring that small ham, and it was really, really useful for this. Now, you don't need to watch me press every single second that I'm pressing, so I'm just going to speed it up here and get us a little bit closer to actually doing the fitting. All right, ready for tightening?
All right, are we filming?
Yeah.
So funny to be on the other side of this situation. So hold those guys and I'll tighten up.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Right, no, I got the wrong ones.
Oops.
Like here. Yeah, all right. Oh gosh.
Give it to me as a loop.
Oh, loop. There you go.
There we go.
Here. What is this cord?
I don't remember.
So how big of a gap do you use?
This one might almost be zero
Yeah,
gap.
it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's almost too big, but I'm not doing it over, so.
Tough. Yeah. Okay, now I'll tighten up the bottom. We do have a 4-poster. We could do the.
Oh,
We could joke the 4-poster thing.
I don't know. I don't want to
Sometimes
reference.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
want to continue. Okay. You don't have to hold your arms like a.
Oh.
Like you're in the breaststroke. Just chill out. Does that hurt?
No.
You got your tits where you want them?
Oh, well, we
Here,
should
let
probably
me,
do a
give me the
scoop.
strings.
Yeah.
Here, scoop your tits.
Okay.
All right. I'm glad to see this mid-back thing. It's everybody.
Is it really everybody?
Well,
This is just us.
Okay, I'm glad to see it's not because I'm like just big. Like,
Yeah, no, I think it's.
I think it's just this is
I
where
do
your
think
ribs
it's
start to
common.
get hard.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of negotiating that transition in your body.
Yeah.
Is this even? I think the whole thing might need to move just a little bit to the right. There you go. I'm like, I feel like your butt crack isn't in the right place. What's happening? Okay. So that's pretty close to close.
Okay.
Got a little bit of a gap right about here.
Okay. Can we get rid of that gap? I feel like there's still room.
Okay, I'll try. Oh yeah, this is roomy on you. There, how's that feel?
Feels really good.
Great. So do you not...
Now, what's
around
actually the right
or
way to
do
do it? Because I feel like I keep doing it the way that people say, oh, you shouldn't do it that way.
What?
Well, I just bring it to the front and then tie it in a bow.
That works for a fitting. For wearing...
But for wearing, what should we do? So
Well,
let's show the camera.
You don't have it. The
Oh,
hook so you have to do it.
Okay.
that way. So for wearing, there's two things you can do. You can put it into a bow in the back and then sort of shove it under
under the lace.
the lacing.
Okay.
But that's sort of hard to do.
Yeah.
The thing you can do if you want, and I can show you on some extents, put two hooks right here,
Okay.
and then you will hook it.
Okay. So you'll want hooks about here where it's supported by these two bones. Okay.
And then what you'll do is you'll bring it around, you'll hook it there.
Okay.
You
And
can then take it around and then tie it in the back, and then that kind of puts it below the waistline of your garments.
Okay.
So, let me try shoving it in actually.
Okay.
Because that's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Yes.
So the thing that a lot of people do, and this is also acceptable, but it can make a lump. And that's why you don't always do it. Is you just literally tie a bow in the back, and then you can kind of shove it in under the corset.
Mhm.
And then you do have a little room, so that's easier. But it just depends on how like heavy your cording is and how comfortable you are with that. I don't like it that way.
Oh, sorry.
So that gives you your smoother look
Mm-hmm.
than like having it just in a big lump behind you.
Right.
So there's that. The ruffles are not actually to increase your bust line. They're to hide your corset.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is, hold on, arm up please.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably gonna need to trim into these arm guys, but I'm just gonna fold it in. Yeah. So it should come up pretty tight under the arm. That's on purpose. I'm gonna pin it to your chemise without stabbing you. There we go. And if you can turn one towards me, you can still see. All right. I'm just gonna pin it here for now. I might end making it taller. We'll see. You can turn around. So I'm gonna try to find. Well, actually, I need to go lower. I'm gonna find the waist of the garment and fit it to the waist, the smallest point in your waist for your corset. Can I pin this corset?
Sure.
Okay.
I just could tell.
I know, I just like to ask.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes people don't want you to. Put your arm down. So let's turn you towards the camera so I can show people what I'm matching. So I'm matching the waist on the corset to the waist on the garment. Because honestly, it's easier to adjust that that way. I'm pinning that so that when I pull it around, I'm not like accidentally putting it off center in the back. And I'm not poking you. There we go. That's the part my husband's really scared of. You may have to lengthen the shoulders, but that's fine. That's why it's a muslin. And also I brought fabric. So, pin that to the shoulders. Just relax your arms. Don't hold trigger your shoulder. There you go. Just relax. Middle distance. Middle distance. Remember what Papa Kenneth says. You know, turn towards me. All the way around. Now the shoulder straps are a little bit too short. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so we know we want, talk to the camera. We know we want the center front to be straight, and so we pull it till it's straight here. We're actually going to have to move the center front line a little bit because it doesn't have as much bust room as we need. But that's part of why we did it. This is why we do these tests. And we'll mark that. So I'm marking it to there. And then I'm going to match that. And smoothing the bust. This is what's fun about having a really strong pattern on this fabric, because then it makes it easy for me to see if the grain line is straight and is doing what I want it to do. What I want it to do is to, at center front, it should be, you're facing what you need to face it. The center front should be straight in this kind of style. And so the way that we then make it shape the body is both with shaping seams and with darts in the front. And basically, having the center front be completely straight gives the garment stability where it has the most strain, which is in the opening. So I cut extra height here, cut extra width here, and now that means I have space to move. And, whoops. In the flat, Lara can decide that she wants this to be taller, but we don't have the space to do that right now. And actually, I think this is a really good shape. So we've got the neckline, how we like it. But a really common change for us specifically is that we have what I call tall shoulders. We have a really deep depth of figure from the top of the shoulder till the underarm. And one way to fix that I did when I was less experienced is I would just deepen and scoop the arm's eye.
Yeah.
But then that messes up the shape. And so what I prefer to do now is I will get some scrap and I will like drape in a little extra piece here, because that's honestly what it needs. We just need more length in the shoulder straps, even though we're petite and our busts are really high compared to our neckline, compared to our necks. This is short here, we're short here, which means we're petite, but being petite doesn't mean that you're tiny everywhere. And especially Lara developed her shoulders a lot when she was in high school with swimming, and I developed my shoulders a lot in my 20s with lifting. So we just have a lot of like arm here. And petite is a height and distance thing. It is not a, pixie size thing.
Although it
necessarily. It can be. But technically petite has to do with how long, did I get you?
Right.
Different things are on your body. So, go. This neckline looks good. So this is actually based on a pattern that I bought from Madame Depew that she rejuvenated from a original pattern from the 1860s. And I just need to look up the actual name. But, well, I generally prefer to drape things like this because of this corset having this very specific shape that was very popular in this decade or this era.
This is
1890s. So, but the general shape, the gist of the shape is the same. So this saves me basically a couple of muslins, and also because we don't live together, it gives us a chance to do fitting very quickly versus if I just drape something on her. So let me fix the front, and then I will I might take some of this out in the front, to the side.
Okay.
So let me get a chair. Aesthetic chair. So at home, I have a special little pad I use to kneel on to do this part of the fitting, but here I have a chair. So again, we're maintaining this front grain. And again, the nice thing about having this really, really intense stripe and plaid on this fabric is I can match all the way down and know that I haven't like gone skewed there. You'll notice also I marked the darts on this on the outside of the fabric. So I knew kind of where the pattern started with. I knew I was going to have to adjust it, but it's nice to have a sense of what the pattern believed you would need. But every pattern, every instruction, especially for this era, presumes you're just going to adjust the dart to the person. And you almost always have to. So I think it's Marna Jean. What's her last name?
We'll put it in the notes.
We'll put it in the notes. Marna, in her patterns, explicitly says these darts are a starting point. Oops, I dropped a pen. Let me find it. I might have gone into the floorboards, actually.
Well, this was a millinery shop.
Well, that's what it was.
Shop.
Yeah, when they find this pen, it will, be an archaeological marvel. Anyway, so turn here. Why don't you step that way for a second? I just want to double check that you're not going to step on that pen.
You want to use the flashlight? That's a good idea. Where's the flashlight?
This is actually a good reason to have a flashlight in your sewing room because sometimes it helps you find a pen that you dropped when your bare eye won't see it. Because they glint.
I'm really not seeing it.
I think it went straight into the floorboards.
The problem is sometimes with wood it bounces.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Found it. And we would not have seen that.
No.
Flashlight! Important safety! Like, even in my house, I need a flashlight sometimes. So as I'm pinning darts, I just like to check and make sure I'm not accidentally pulling the center front off grain. There. Looks great. Okay, can you turn it towards me on the other side? Yeah. Can they still see?
No. So if you angle your chair that way, it'll help.
Yeah. And so people are not symmetrical, and the pattern is. So you'll notice that this dart is a lot shallower on the right side. Lara is firmly right-handed, and probably also might poke her ribs a little bit to the right as she stands, which a lot of right-handed people do because they stand on their right foot. So that is fine, but what we do then is just the dart will be shallower. This is part of why you kind of need to try it on a person. Oh, you little wily thing. You tried to get out. It's a lot shallower. Didn't pull it. All right, cool. Yeah, see, people are not paper dolls. Don't look down. It's fine that it's different. That's how people are. You're people. Make sure I'm not pulling it. This is part of why we do these tests though. So the length here is good, but I'm going to put some pins in because it could be a little shorter. You don't want to go a lot longer than the corset because then it will buckle when you sit down. So I'm just going to mark where the front of the corset is here, and then I'll need to mark the center front with chalk in a minute because we moved the center front. If you turn around, I can do the back. So then you can see that the back still has a little bit of space, which is fine. And what I'm going to do is just, honestly, I have a very convenient side seam here. And I'm just going to pull that extra out of the side seam. It shouldn't be skin tight in the back because you do need to be able to move. But this is more than we need back here. So I'm just going to pin out. And then I'm going to have her sit down. Very important, especially with these longer garments. You want to make sure that you're not setting up your client or your friend to be unable to sit without the garment rocking up. And actually what we have here in the back is way too much length on the bottom and the back. And so pulling or marking where that's going to come out is really helpful for the overall fit because then it won't rock or kind of pleat itself out. You can turn more to your left. Just going to get a little bit more out of here. And so see, yeah, here's how you can also see Lara's left hip is more full than her right hip. Again, it's perfectly natural. And so I'm taking less out of this left seam. So this is when you undo this and mark it, you're going to have a different left and right on the back, well, on both sides, on all of it. So you'll end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pattern pieces. So let's do a little circle for that. And then let me pin in the extra fabric we need for the shoulders. Then we can fit the sleeves. So for the shoulder height issue, we're going to just drape in a little piece of linen. This scrap linen is really good because it's a dimity, so it has a kind of woven grain line. And that makes it easy to really get the shoulder line where we want it to be. I just realized I forgot to put the microphone on. Oh, yeah, it's okay. We can do a brace over. Turn around. We've got about 20 more minutes, so let's get you marked and done, and then we can do it later.
Okay. We'll throw the mic on and do a quick intro, outro.
Yes. We do have time to properly mark this. There we go. There we go. There it is. That's the nice thing about being on a hard floor. You can hear that the pen fell. Sometimes they could hear a pin drop, and I'm like, well, yeah, you can't hear a pin drop. It's not like a factory floor. Let me just play with it. You might still scoop this out a little, but it's not super wrong. It's a good start. There. So because we had to adjust the shoulder height, these sleeves are one size bigger in the pattern than this bodice. They might still be too short, but I'm going to try it anyway and just see if I can get it to fit, because it would be nice not to have to drape the sleeves. So what we're doing is, unlike the sleeves that we draped, that we fit a few recently, this is meant to fit very smoothly and have no puckering and no easing. So I'm just turning under the seam allowance and pinning it on. And actually I can already see it is too small. So we're just going to have to adjust that. But I do want to see if we like the pitch.
Yeah, it's too short, but that's 5 inches. That's okay. I just wanted to see if we like the width of the sleeve, because that's something that's easy to change. It's not bad. The sleeve here is mainly, honestly, not really necessarily to act as a sleeve. The sleeve in a corset cover is also to basically keep your armpit from touching your corset and to keep your armpit safe from your clothes and your clothes safe from your armpit. These sleeves are too small, so we have to make new ones. So I can't do that piece, but that's a very easy adjustment to make. And honestly, it's an adjustment I had to make a lot. So put your arm back down. So now we have the fully adjusted corset cover. All right. Place. Yeah. So you're sitting and you're checking, and this is really good to film yourself actually, because you're checking how does it feel when you sit down. Is it rucking up? Is it too long in the front? Especially in the front. Right. So actually, let me turn around and let's see. I think it might be still a little long in the front, but I actually didn't do it all the way. So see here where we're getting a natural crease here. That is too long, and if we leave it like that, it will annoy her. So I'm going to turn this up here, and then we'll mark that. And be
Is that aligned with the very bottom of the corset?
Yeah, so basically the corset cover is able to be tight and stay where it is until the corset breaks. And then, but sometimes, especially if you're a curvy person, when you sit down, your corset will bend and flex, so you want to be sure you have enough space, and you do. Right. All right, so this, right now, this is not a beautiful object. I recognize that it basically looks like scraps and rags, which is what it is. But that's what you should use for fitting. You know, do this before you cut into your good fabric and discover that the shoulder is too low for you. Yeah, so thanks so much for coming by today, and I hope to see you again soon. Straight places. Does that look fine for you?
It's fine either way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you saying on the other? I think just tell me what we're saying, because that's why I get flustered.
Okay, so
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.